Hello students, welcome to 7th session of Realty Accounts. So in this class we are going to solve a problem under with minimum rent account. So I hope you remember the journal entries. Let me start the problem. A company entered a lease agreement for a colliery on 1/1/2017 at a dead rent of 2 lakh rupees per annum. So your minimum rent is 2 lakh rupees, merging into a royalty of 10 per ton of extraction. Again, recoupment of short working over the first 3 years. That means we can recoup the short working within 2019 and not after that. From B company. So here A company is a lessee, so which has to make payment to company B lessor. The outputs for the first 4 years they have given. So you are required to prepare ledger accounts with the minimum rent account in the books of A Limited and B Limited. That means lessee and lessor. So as far as the solution part, the first thing we need to prepare royalty table. So here I'll copy the things from the problem, year and output. So from 2017 to 2020, they have given the details. Year and output. Next, we need to calculate royalty. The formula is output into royalty per ton, rupees 10. So 12,000 into 10 rupees. So it is 1,20,000. 15,100 into 10 rupees. So 1,51,100 rupees. Sorry. 1,51,000 rupees. The next one, 21,900 into 10 rupees. So it is 2,19,000. 25,000 into 10 rupees, it's 2,50,000. After that, minimum rent. So I have seen the problem, minimum rent is fixed 2 lakh rupees for all the years. So I'll just type 2 lakh rupees in all the years. There is no change in the fixed or minimum rent. After that, surplus or short working. We know that royalty minus minimum rent is surplus, minimum rent minus royalty is short working. For the first year, minimum rent is higher, so there is no short working. So there is no surplus. As far as short working, 2 lakh minus 1,20,000, 80,000 rupees represent short working. In the second year, again 2 lakh minus 1,59,000. So there is no surplus, but we have a short working of 49,000 rupees. Then, so here royalty is higher. So royalty minus minimum rent 19,000 represents surplus, and there is no short working. In the last year, of course, royalty is higher. So 2,50,000 minus 2 lakh, this 50,000 represents surplus, and there is no short working. After that, we need to consider recoupment, carry forward, and return off. So in the first year, short working of 80,000, there is no surplus to recover or recoup. So recoupment is nil and carry forward. So we can carry forward the short working till 2019. So entire 80,000 rupees carried forward to next year. And return off, entire amount carried forward. So there is no amount to return off. So in case of cash payment, royalty or minimum rent, whichever is higher. So higher amount is 2 lakh minus recoupment 0. So final payment is 2 lakh. In the second year, again 49,000 rupees of fresh short working and previous year's balance 80,000 rupees. But we have no surplus here. So as we have no surplus, so there is no amount to recoupment. And we can carry forward the previous year 80,000 plus 49,000 of rupees current year. So total 1,29,000 rupees carried to next year. As far as return off, no amount. Entire amount carried forward, so there is no amount to return off. Then final payments to lessor. Royalty or minimum rent, whichever is higher, higher amount is 2 lakh minus recoupment 0. So here 2 lakh rupees lessee has to pay. And the next year, brought down balance of short working 1,29,000 and we have surplus of 19,000. So we can adjust only 19,000 rupees. The surplus or short working, whichever is lesser. So here lesser amount is 19,000, so we can recover only 19,000. So this short working can be recovered only in the first 3 years. So for that reason, we cannot carry forward the balance. So now check short working of 1,29,000. Out of this, 19,000 rupees recovered. So remaining balance 1,10,000 is irrecoverable balance, so which is written off. So this is considered and we need to transfer this loss to profit and loss account. And see the last one, royalty or minimum rent, whichever is higher. So here higher amount is 2,19,000 minus recoupment of 19,000 rupees. 2,19,000 minus 19,000. So the remaining balance is 2 lakh. Then see the last year. So here surplus of 15,000 but there is no short working. So as there is no short working, no need to recoup anything, no need to carry forward the balance and no need to write off any balances. So for the final amount, it's royalty or minimum rent whichever is higher. So here higher amount is 2,50,000 minus recoupment. So recoupment is 0. 2,50,000 minus 0. So here lessee has to pay 2,50,000. So I hope uh, you are able to form this royalty table because it's the basic things for our further ledger accounts. So then just see with minimum rent account journal entries. So here there are 6 transactions. So in this we need to prepare necessary ledger account. So here necessary ledger account one is minimum rent account and the second ledger account we need to prepare is lessers account and the third one royalty account and the fourth one short workings account. So apart from these 4 ledger accounts, so these are all the supporting ledger accounts. So if they asked in the problem specifically, then only we need to prepare bank account, production account or profit and loss account. Otherwise, the basic ledger accounts is minimum rent account, lessers account, royalty account and short workings account. So let me start with the first ledger account, minimum rent account. So you can see here the journal entries are 2. The first transaction, minimum rent due. The entry is minimum rent account debit to lessers account. And the second transaction, transfer of minimum rent to royalty and short workings account. So let me start. The first year 2017 minimum rent account debits to lessers account. So here lesser name is B limited account. So B limited's account. So I need to put minimum rent. So here minimum rent specified for all the years common, it's 2 lakh. And again, we need to transfer this minimum rent to 2 ledger accounts, that is royalty and short workings account. The entry is royalty account debit, short workings account debit to minimum rent account. So minimum rent account credit side by royalty account and another one by short workings account. So here I need to check royalty amount and short working. For the first year, royalty is 1,20,000 and short working is 80,000. So I'll copy the same amount to the ledger account. Royalty amount 1,20,000 rupees and short workings 80,000. So only 2 transactions to minimum rent account. We have passed both entries. So I'll close the books of accounts for the year 2017. Debit side 2 lakh and credit side 2 lakh. After that, I'll prepare the entries for 2018 As far as 2018, the same two transactions repeat. So I'll do the first entry, that is minimum rent account debit to B Limited's account. So here again minimum rent is 2 lakh, no doubt, and here 2018, the second transaction, transfer of minimum rent to royalty account and short workings account. So for these two entries, I need to check the amount. So here for the second year, royalty amount is 1,50,000 and short workings is 49,000. So I'll copy the same things. 1,51,000 and here 49,000. So we have paused both the entries in the year 2018, and so I'll close the books of accounts for the year 2018. So debit side 2 lakh and credit side again 2 lakh. So after this, for the year 2019, I need to check the table. So here in the year 2019, there is no short working. So as there is no short working, no need to prepare the minimum rent account. Again for the year 2020, there is no short working, so there is no need to prepare minimum rent account. So minimum rent account is prepared only for the years in which we have short working. So here minimum rent account is prepared for 2017 and 2018 and not for the 2019 and 2020. So hope you understood minimum rent account. After this, the second table is royalty account. So in this ledger account, again I'll show you the journal entries first. So first transaction is transfer of minimum rent and the second transaction is transfer of royalty to production account. So these two entries will appear in royalty account. So I'll start from the year 2017. 2017. So here first entry is transfer of minimum rent to royalty account. So here the entry is royalty account debit, short workings account debit to minimum rent account. So here to minimum rent account. So here for the first year minimum rent is royalty amount is 1,20,000. So we are going to transfer 1,20,000 here. And again, so this royalty amount transferred to production account. So here royalty is based on the extraction. So for that reason, we are going to transfer the royalty amounts to production account. If it is based on sales, we need to transfer this royalty amount to profit and loss account. So here I'll transfer the amounts to production account. So entire 1,20,000 rupees transferred to production account. So here we have only two entries to royalty account. The first one, transfer of minimum rent to royalty account and transfer of royalty to production account. So I'll close the books for the year 2017, 1,20,000 debit side and 1,20,000 credit side. Then in the year 2018, the same transaction repeats. The royalty account debits to minimum rent account. So from the minimum rent account, we have transferred the amount. You can check in a minimum rent account also. In the second year, by royalty account, we have fixed 1,51,000. The opposite entry in a royalty account is 1,51,000. So this amount is transferred to production account. So the entry on the credit side of royalty account, it's by production account. So we are going to transfer this 1,51,000 to production account. So there is no more entries in the year 2018. So I'll close the books of accounts for the year 2018. And the next year 2019. So in the year 2019, so you should check here We have not prepared minimum rent account. So there is no entry of royalty account in the year 2019. So for that reason, so we need to change a little here. So in the year 2019, so we have not prepared minimum rent account. So this minimum rent account and this one gets cancelled. So remaining entries are royalty account debit, short workings account debit, two lessers account. Again, for the year 2019, so there is no short working. So the remaining entry is royalty account debit to lessers account. So I'll write the entry royalty account debit to lessers account. Here the lesser is B Limited account. So B Limited's account. So I need to check the royalty amount for the year 2019. Royalty amount is 2,19,000. So I'll write here 2,19,000. So here we have not prepared minimum rent account for the year 2019. So there is a small change in our journal entries. So as we have not prepared minimum rent account, the entry is royalty account debits to lessers account. But there is no change on the credit entry here. So it is as same as the previous case. So by production account. Here by production account. So the amount is 2,19,000. Entire 2,19,000 transferred to production account. So there is no further transaction. So I'll close the books for the year 2019. It's 2,19,000. Then in the last year 2020, again in the year 2020, we have not prepared minimum rent account. So for that reason, so we cannot transfer from a minimum rent account. So here again, which is as same as the previous year, the entry is royalty account debit to B Limited's account. So again, I need to check the royalty amount. Royalty amount is 2,50,000 for 2020. So I'll copy the same thing. 2 lakh 20 2,50,000 rupees royalty. Again, so which one transferred to production account? So by production account, it's 2,50,000. Entire amount transferred to production account. So there is no further transaction. So it is 2,50,000 and here credit side total 2,50,000. So this is how we need to prepare royalty account. The only thing you need to remember is if minimum rent account is prepared or if there is short working, in that case we need to record royalty account debits to minimum rent account. If there is no short working, we need to record royalty account debits to lessers account. And the next ledger account is short workings account. So in case of short working, so here the first transaction, transfer of minimum rent and short working recoupment and short working written off. So totally we have three entries to short workings account. So the first one, transfer of minimum rent. So journal entry is short workings account debit to minimum rent account. For the fresh short working to minimum rent account. So here I'll check what is the short working for the first year. For the first year short working is 80,000. So I'll transfer this 80,000 rupees. So again the second transaction was short working recoupment. So there is no short working recoupment for the first year. And the third transaction was short working written off. Of course, it's also not there. So entire 80,000 rupees carried forward. So in the short working ledger account 2017, I'll just carry forward the balance. So it is by balance carried forward. The entire 80,000 rupees carried to next year. So I'll close the books of accounts for the first year 80,000 and here 80,000. For the second year 2018, again to balance brought forward. So balance brought forward amount 80,000 from the previous year. Again, for the fresh short working, the entry is short workings account debits to minimum rent account. So again, second year also we have short working. So to minimum rent account. So I'll check. The short workings for the second year is 49,000. So here 49,000 rupees. Then again I'll check, is there anything for recoupment and nothing for return off. So entire 1,29,000 carried forward. So I'll write here 2018. Again by balance carried forward. The entire amount carried forward to next year. So it is debit side 1,29,000 rupees and credit side total 1,29,000 rupees, and this balance carried forward to next year. So in the year 2019, I'll write to balance brought forward, and this brought forward balance is 1,29,000. So then I need to check again the table if there is any amount for fresh short working. So there is no fresh short working. So first entry is not necessary. That is short working account debits to minimum rent account is not necessary. And then check for recoupment. Of course, we have recoupment of 19,000. As far as recoupment, the entry is short workings account credit and lessers account debit. So here in the short workings account, we need to credit the entry. So here, lessers account, we need to write. Lessers account debit to short workings account. So short workings account credited by lessers account. So here, lesser name is B Limited's account. So we have recouped only 19,000 rupees. Again, another entry for written off. For the third year, we have a written off of 1,10,000. So this amount needs to be written off. As far as written off, the entry is profit and loss account debits to short workings account. So short workings account credit side by profit and loss account. Profit and loss account. Out of 1,29,000, 19,000 rupees adjusted or recouped, and the remaining balance 1,10,000 rupees written off. So I'll close the books of accounts. Debit side total 1,29,000 and credit side total again 1,29,000 rupees. So there is no further transaction. In the year 2020, check here. There is no fresh short working, so there is no need to pass the first entry. There is no recoupment, no need to pass the second entry, and there is no written off, so no need to pass the third entry. For that reason, short working account is only for 3 years as far as this problem. So hope you understood the preparation of short workings account. And the last ledger account is lessers account. So here you can check the journal entries or the transactions for lessers account. The first one for minimum rent due, and the second one for actual payments, and the third one for recoupment. So we need to remember 3 transactions to lessers account. So let me start with the first transaction, minimum rent account debits to lessers account. So lessers account should be credited by minimum rent account. So by minimum rent account. So minimum rent account is 2 lakh. And the second transaction for the payment of royalty to the lessor. So here 2017 For the payment to lessor's account debits to bank account. So here we need to check the final payments to lessor. In the year 2017, the final payment was 2 lakh. So I'll record the same thing. The final payment was 2 lakh. So if there is a short working recoupment, so we need to pass the entry. But as far as the first year, there is no recoupment. So I'll close the books of accounts. It's 2 lakh on the debit side and 2 lakh on the credit side. Then again, in the year 2018, again the same transactions repeats. For the minimum rent due, the entry is minimum rent account debit to lessor's account. And again, the due amount is 2 lakh. And in the year 2018, the payments we need to record. Lessor's account debit to bank account. That is, so here we need to check the final payment. In the second year, final payment was 2 lakh. So it is to bank account, again 2 lakh rupees. So there is no recoupment. So there is no need to pass the third transaction. I'll close the books for the year 2018. It's 2 lakh on the debit side and 2 lakh on the credit side. In the year 2019, we should remember we have not paused minimum rent account. We have not prepared minimum rent account. We have prepared only royalty account. So we should be careful. So instead of minimum rent account, we have prepared royalty account. You can check in the royalty account. We have paused an entry to lesser, that is to B limited's account. So the corresponding entry on the lessor's account by royalty accounts. By royalty account, and here we need to pass royalty amount. So in the year 2019, royalty amount is 2 lakh 19,000. So here it is 2 lakh 19,000. Again, in the year 2019, for the final payment, lessor's account debit to bank account. So here to bank account, I need to put the amount. So in the year third, so here the final payment was 2 lakh. I'll write 2 lakh rupees. Here you can see royalty was 2 lakh 19,000, out of which we have paid 2 lakh, and remaining 19,000 we have a balance. And this amount is short working recoupment. As far as short working recoupment, we have an entry in short workings account. So here you can see in the year 2019, we have paused entry lessor's account debits to short workings account. So the corresponding entry in lessor's account to short workings account 19,000. Now I'm going to close the books 2 lakh 19,000 on the debit side and 2 lakh 19,000 on the credit side. So finally, in the last year, again we are not paused an entry on minimum rent account, but we have prepared royalty account. So in the royalty account, we have paused entry to lessor's account. So the corresponding entry for 2 lakh 50,000 is on the credit side by royalty accounts 2 lakh 50,000. And here the final payment in the year 2020 to bank accounts. So here you can check the final payment. The final payment in the year 2020 was 2 lakh 50,000. So I'll record 2 lakh 50,000. There is no further transaction, so I'll close the books for the year 2020. Debit side 2 lakh 20,000, credit side 2 lakh 50,000 and 2 lakh 50,000 rupees. So this is how we need to prepare lessor's account. The only thing you should be careful regarding minimum rent account as well as royalty. If you have prepared minimum rent account, we should write it in the credit side. Otherwise, we should write royalty account on the credit side of lessors account. So hope you understood the preparation of ledger account. We have prepared minimum rent account, royalty account, short workings account, and lessors account. And it's for your assignment to put ledger accounts in the books of lesser. That is royalty receivable account, short working suspense account, lessee's account, and minimum rent account. So hope you uh, enjoyed the watching. Happy learning and thank you.